All right, Mopar people, welcome back to the channel. I'm just Mopar Joe, and I look like this because everybody wants a stroker. We're gonna go check out the 512 that's coming up, build starting now. I got a lot of machine work and stuff here that I did over with Rick Seaman, and he did the majority of stuff on this block. So y'all check that out. Awesome place to be and hang out and get some stuff done. So this one's ready to build. It's gonna be about 12.7-to-1. E85 motor with the Trick Flow 270s. I got those hiding on the table back here somewhere. But yeah, that's also the one I got to port that track heat intake for. So let's go look at the block. I'm putting the KBS rust stuff on it now. Here's our little block, 74 model, the 630 casting. So it's actually the second best one you can get. But currently I am trying to keep this stuff wet in here. You got to do this keep it wet for 30 minutes minimally with the rust blast. And the whole valley here is going to get glyptol. So that's going to be a cool treatment. I'm not doing that in this video. I probably won't even video the stuff, but you've seen my KBS video, hopefully. And I did find out last time, I got a little bit of this on the decks, and people were sad that my pretty decks had already gotten some of this rust etch stuff on it. So I got these duct taped up, and I've got my little blow gun over there. So all I've got to do is come back by and just blow my tape off just gently. But yeah, you're supposed to keep this stuff wet for 30 minutes. I've already pressure washed this dude today 2 or 3 times. I did my whole brush out and everything. So that's our pretty little block. Let me hit this side again. Come on, there you go. It is getting a girdle. I'll show you that stuff, just like my 512 did. But this ought to be a bad boy, and it's going to the dyno as well. So y'all check us out. And let me show you some of the stuff we did, including that 1/2-inch pickup that we drilled. That was fun.
This is a 400 Mopar block that I'm doing for just Mopar Joe. He's making a 512 stroker out of it. And it's a little different on the honing. Like the last 400 block he brought me, it's very hard. When I stuck my roughing stones in there, which was a Sun 70 grit 133s, after I made a few strokes, it looked like a finished bore. I stuck my finger in there and it was smooth. It wouldn't cut anything on this hard block. So I went to a Sun 116, which is softer, like I would use on an aluminum block with ductile iron sleeves, and it cut it. So that worked out okay. It's just a little different on the honing. It's not as easy, shall we say. It is kind of predictable though. That's okay. I guess I should have started at the beginning and told you that first I chased the head bolt holes and then used a head gasket like they're going to use on the build, and then put the torque plate on. But the build is using 240 trick flow heads. Well, trick flow heads are a little different, and you can't use the standard head bolts. So we got the trick flow head bolts, TFS 92025, which are made by ARP, but it's a little different. They use a stock head bolt torque, which is a little different because most ARP bolts and studs take more torque, but 70 foot-pounds like stock. You put the torque plate on. If you're not watching, or if the machine shop doesn't know that you're using trick flow heads and trick flow head bolts, the head bolt is longer. The trick flow, this row, the head is thicker at that point. And maybe I should show this when I go to the other side. There's your stock spacers that come with the torque plate. but the head is thicker. So if you run this down, because that head bolt is for a 240, this is for a stock Mopar. If you run that head bolt down, the machinist may not realize that this bolt is longer, and you're just bottoming out the bolt. You're not torquing the head. This is not being torqued. You're bottoming out the bolt, and it's just the right length where it might appear that these are tight, but they're not. They're just bottomed out. So if you're building a 240, and if you're going to torque plate hone, and you're using the 240 heads, he's going to have to either make new spacers that are tall enough to compensate for the extra thickness of the head, or I just used hardened washers here to make the thread engagement the same as it would be properly, to compensate for the thickness of the head there. But that's the only thing different. If you're building a 240, just tell your machinist that so he can do something about that row of head bolts. Otherwise, they really won't be torqued at all. I'm doing the final size I practiced on the way down to get the proper numbers on the profilometer for the final hone. And then, and it was the same as the numbers I used on that last 400 block, which was also real hard. So it's all working great. It'll get done. It just takes a lot of time. Okay, Joe, that's about as good as I can do for you. Dead on the top and dead on at the bottom. These are the profilometer numbers. 12 is lower than the low end of my spec, but you know, you can't have everything. RK31, that's perfect. I can never hit that every time. It's exactly where I want it. RVK42, now that's lower than I want, but you can't, it's hard to hit them all perfect every time, you know. And there's a graph of the surface of the cylinder. So everything's good. I'm happy. Okay, this is what I was talking about a while ago. And by the way, these are I didn't tell you a while ago that these ARP bolts, of course, require ARP lube, so bear that in mind. And remember that ARP bolts have a radius under the head that's not squared off. If there's a radius there for strength, and the washer has a radius in it, and the other side is flat. So you do not put these washers on upside down, or you're going to end up with that. The washer will not go up to the head, and that's wrong, wrong, wrong. Do it right. Just keep your eyes open. Quality bolts have a chamfer underneath the head. Match that with the washer. Okay, so let's say you take your block to the machinist, and you took him your head bolts because, you know, they tell you you're supposed to use the same head bolts and torque down to spec and everything. So you did everything right, but you never told him that you were using trick flow heads, so he doesn't know that these bolts are too long, and he doesn't know, and so he runs. I run these in with a electric screwdriver, which might torque them to 1 foot-pound maybe, you know, just to run them down because I'm old and lazy, you know. But so he runs these bolts in, and then he torques these down, and what he did is he bottomed out the bolt. You don't have anything torqued in the middle. None of these are torqued. They're bottomed out. And you might as well not even ask for a torque plate hone if you're not going to get it. That has to be spaced up if you're using trick flow heads because of the head being thicker there. So just bear that in mind if you're doing a build.
Number 6.
Number 6, in between 125. It flashed at 131, but we'll go with it. And now the all-important thrust. Wow. 247. Flashed over 250 several times. $250.
Nice.
Well, you can't get any better than that. You're not going to find a block that's got those kind of numbers. Come on. That's not real. Especially when it's what is it? 35 over, 33 over, 35 over. Okay, last one on this side.
Number one thrust.
Okay, number one thrust on the bottom. 329, 239. Yeah.
We had 240 and 239.
Wow. 254. Wow.
That's the best one so far.
You're,
No, we had a 260.
you're gonna wish. Wow. 247. You're gonna wish you kept this block for yourself.
Here's our recorded numbers for the people playing along at home. The thrusts were on the top side of both of these, so our best thrust was this 280 on the bottom of that cylinder, and I think we had a 275 there.
Now we're going to sweep, right? We're ready?
Yep.
Okay, let's go. Well, we did pretty good. Okay, well. Well, it's on 0.
I'd say it didn't. It only moved when it hit that little nick there, and then.
Yeah. I'm going to say we're good. Let's tighten it down. And then, which shouldn't change anything, the way we're tightening here. Okay, that should give us a path, right?
Yep.
We have to decide what is 0. And after we decide where 0 is, then we can start cutting. Okay, are we ready?
Yep.
Okay, I'm saying that's not 0. Tell me when you see all the way across.
You're there.
Okay. Damn, that's slow.
Well, there it goes.
47. That's like the last block we did.
I saw a video of a guy doing this.
Yeah, if you only knew how long it took him. If you only knew what a bad night that was. The drill should follow the hole.
Yeah.
And
Okay. There's people on the internet's gonna say they're watching me drill this crooked.
oh yeah, that's okay. Whenever you feel like you're straight, you can push harder. See, yeah, it's trying to grab on you over there when you go that far in, boy.
You think that's still bad?
No, you can feel it. I can't feel it.
Pause for this brief interruption.
I don't think. I think it's going good. I don't really think. Another quarter, we're there.
Okay. Yeah, we're almost to where that other bit went.
Yeah. I mean, we're doing good. So where that intersection is from the oil pickup and the suction into the pump, it has to make that 90-degree turn. So this 90-degree turn, you stick the ball in there, ball type carbide, stick it in there, and then back it up into that,
Uh-huh.
and then stick it in this way, and back it up into that, and give you some radius just to help the flow.
Okay.
So we'll be doing that anyway.
I was drilling a hole below the hole that we already drilled to open it up closer to the size of the hole that we're trying to get to, if that makes sense. As Rick showed in the Bible, you can do it with a carbide, probably better. So I'm going to drill from this side now.
Yep.
And just make it to the intersection there?
Yep, go to the intersection.
Okay.
9/16, oh, 5/8. Inch and a half.
Okay, so it's 1.5 inch depth
Yep.
with a
5/8.
with a 5/8 bit.
I think you're all the way down, aren't you?
Okay, what's next?
You're going to ream this hole a little bit to give it a little bit of taper. Hold her straight and get it started, and then back up and do your thing. And it's a big tap. You're going to want to push hard.
Maybe it can find its own way here.
Yeah, it will. You just got to get it started. Looks like it.
You don't like that?
Yep, I dig it.
Okay.
Once you have a few threads, then the rest of it's just work.
Mm-hmm.
This can shot craps after the last one. Let me get some more. Just go till you feel it's time to back up, and then back up. We got a ways to go.
I could hear y'all cringing about that 1/2 inch drill out there, but I think we look really nice. Got about 1, 2, 3, 3.5 threads hanging out. I went ahead and shaved the block down here. Usually if you do a 512, that's where the rod bolt will hit. So I gave it a preemptive shave, and it looks, I realize it looks thin in this video. If I thread this dude out, I'll show you how exactly thick it is inside of there. That goes at an angle that way. So it's angling in more than it is from the actual sidewall. It looks really good. I'm pleased with that job. Rick was happy with it, and this dude's gonna get a lot more oil with that. We're gonna have the road race pan on the 512, so let's go out and make 700 horsepower with this thing.